Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Today's podcast is sponsored by SLI Systems, providers of intelligent site search and navigation solutions. Learn more at sli-systems.com and listen to their interviews at ecommercepodcast.com.
Your path to e-commerce success starts right here. You're listening to Practical E-commerce, the podcast for e-commerce results.
Welcome back to another Practical E-commerce podcast. My name is Brian Getting, and this is another supplemental podcast to our October 2006 magazine issue. This week, or this podcast, I should say, Mitch Bettis, again our contributing editor, is speaking with a woman named Sheila Dahlgren, I'm trying to make sure I pronounce this right, who is the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Corporate Communications at a company called Scene7, which does a lot of stuff with image management, meaning the images like photographs of products and whatnot that are on e-commerce sites. And this is an interesting conversation. As you know, we've done a few articles in the magazine, and I know a lot of people out there are concerned about their images, and it really is an important thing to have good, convincing images. And again, Mitch is speaking with Sheila Dahlgren of Scene7 about the benefits of product image display software.
Well, Sheila, I'm grateful for your time, and we're looking forward to learning more about Scene7. And in the beginning, maybe you could explain why improving product display options on a website is something an e-commerce owner should be concerned about.
Sure, Mitch. E-commerce retailers, if they're selling products that have an image related to them, it's very important to be able to enhance that imagery or the visual merchandising or presentation of those particular products. Customers, frankly, don't buy what they can't see. So if you're selling products with different color options, you really need to, as a baseline when merchandising on the web, show that color option in every color in the image. You need to show the commerce owners details, alternative views, because you're really trying to close the touch and feel barrier that is lacking on the website that you can really experience in a store setting. And so all that visual information is critical in making a purchase decision.
Well, is a tool like this good for all products? Is it valuable for a women's clothing site, an auto parts site, a candy store? Are there some places that it's better for than others, or can this type of tool be applied to most every site?
That's a great question as well. We have clients that range and sell all kinds of products, from automotive products like J.C. Whitney, Chaparral Motorsports, a distributor, Dennis Kirk, of automotive parts, ranging to hundreds of apparel clients, department stores, selling merchandise from electronics to apparel to home furnishings. And we find that because you need to see an image, you start with an image. Again, browsers, shoppers want to see a product before they actually make a purchase, and then when they add it to cart, they need visual confirmation that they're adding the right product to their shopping cart. Images are critical when buying most types of merchandise. Now, there are things that you don't use an image for. Say you're buying services that you may not necessarily need, or a nail or small parts that you already know what you're buying, you don't necessarily need a visual for, then I would say that those probably aren't the ideal type of product for rich, enhanced visual merchandising.
That helps. That makes a good distinction there. My limited knowledge tells me that this is a technology that has been evolving over the last couple of years. Can you perhaps explain some of that evolution,
Sure.
how it has improved, and maybe what we're going to see around the corner in terms of various product display options?
When Scene7 basically pioneered dynamic imaging or content serving, and we were incorporated back in 1998. And our initial launch of our image serving platform really was to serve dynamic content into internet sites. But we continue to enhance performance, scalability, and add new functionality of what the imagers can do to your original master images or your rich imagery, if you will, year over year. We started out as a license-only server product and have now offer both an on-demand version of our server product as well as a license. And so that recent phenomenon kind of happened over the last 3 years. We're finding many more retailers are very, very interested in trying this out, as well as leveraging, before they're making the big purchase of owning their own servers and managing their own Scene7 servers in-house. They actually move to our on-demand platform because it lets them avoid having to manage those internal servers themselves through their IT group. And the on-demand platform is quite popular because it allows small businesses to large Fortune 500 enterprises to access our technology immediately and all the benefits without having to invest in new servers and, people internally.
So then I think what you're telling me is this type of product is scalable for those that have a small mom-and-pop business operating out of their garage to a business that's much more robust doing $50 million. There's a scalability, and then therefore the price of using that product also ebbs and flows based on that scalability?
That's right. Our pricing model is based on content served. And so the small businesses benefit immediately as well as the larger enterprise.
Can you give me an idea, and maybe we're still speaking in general here, not specifically about Scene7, but can you give me an idea of kind of that cost range for those that are on the low use end? A cost structure could be approximately blank to those on a heavy use end. What is the general idea there? What am I expecting in terms of cost?
Well, in an on-demand situation, and that would be more of a paying a service to Scene7 to host all their content and then serve it up dynamically, and then add rich zoom, alt views, colors, online catalogs. We've got quite a breadth of features and functions that can be accessed through our platform, which is unique actually in the industry today. So you won't actually find a comparable technology provider out there that can offer full breadth of what's in our platform from a rich visual merchandising standpoint. And so the price point is as well as the value that you'll get from that. But a small business accessing our on-demand can pay as low as several $100s to enterprise companies, which could be in the 5 to 6 figure numbers per month.
And when you talk about you hosting content, you're talking about hosting the image content of a site, not as opposed to differentiating that from text or other graphics?
That is correct.
Okay.
Anything you see, well, we will host graphics as well, nav bars and dynamic, anything dynamically visual from a graphic standpoint, navigation, or from an image merchandising standpoint, because we are essentially a content-serving platform. We will serve dynamically through original masters or files, if you will, anything into the site that's visual. And the reason why that benefits retailers from a baseline is because they can start with that one size, that one original size content. Say if it is imagery, the original master image that's high res, and we will dynamically size all of the sizes into the website, whether it's on the home page, browse page, or category page, to the shopping cart page, and of course the product page. Anywhere you see the imagery, we'll dynamically serve and size from original masters. So there's no manual touch and production work having to prepare those images to web publish into a site.
Well, that's then kind of a nice segue into kind of what is the labor intensiveness to operate this from an e-commerce owner's standpoint. If I have 1,000 products, 1,000 SKUs, how much time do I need to be prepared to invest in making this type of visual technology work for me on my site?
To just get basic dynamic content serving and, say, rich zoom viewing of those 1,000 products, which is why it's so easy to scale, is you would upload the original 1,000 product images, just the original masters, into our system. You'd upload them in and then publish. And then every dynamic page you have, say you have a home page, you want to serve your images into the category or browse page and a product page and a shopping cart page. So you have 4 pages. You need to just reconnect the original masters and call them from our servers rather than from your original static servers that you were calling your static images from. So it's just a change in a URL call to that new image, and that's it. So usually it can take as quick as a day to make that change.
So you're saying, I mean, literally it's as easy then as
A URL.
I'm uploading 1,000, for the use of our example, 1,000 JPEG images, and then redirecting my URLs to point to your server as opposed to another server.
Where those 1,000 images exist.
Wow.
Usually we don't load JPEGs. That's a low-res term. Usually people convert their high-res images from, their digital cameras or wherever they're shooting their original merchandise to JPEG format low-res for web. But you no longer have to do that step. That's the whole big basic benefit of Scene7 dynamic content serving. You can start with the original, high-res image in TIFF format, EPS, your print quality images we work with. You upload those 1,000 into our site, and you then have dynamic content that you can scale across any page on your site, any size, including streaming in that high-res zoom so you can see rich details.
Well, are there other things that an e-commerce owner should know about rich media, about zoom pan technology, about product display software in general, or specifically about Scene7? If they are looking at making a leap from a static presentation, what would you tell them to kind of push them over the edge into making this investment?
I would look at all the case studies that we have on Scene7's site, because we have quite a lot of customers coming back to us and telling us what the actual ROI was by adding rich visual merchandising to their site from their original static views. And you'll see great case studies from 2x increases in conversion rates to saving in the back office, their web publishing time and cost by 3x, because they no longer have to manually create all those static sizes for their website. So you'll see that the ROI for Scene7 is not only an increase in revenue and conversion, but also a back office benefit because we automate the web publishing of rich content. When you're looking at adding rich visualization, enhanced visualization to your site, I would look for that, because if you can't find an approach that lets you scale across 1,000 products to 100,000 products and let you take down the rich media up and down, because every merchant adds new products every quarter, or if not every week. If you don't have the capabilities to take things up and down and republish and manage your business real time, and the rich media is actually one-off built, that is the key to actually picking the right solution. It needs to be able to scale cost effectively across all your merchandise.
At the end of the day, it is about converting that visitor to a sale. It's all about conversion. And you'd, on your site, quote some rather impressive statistics about how this type of product, in particular Scene7, has improved conversion rates. Can you kind of expand on that? If there's some things you could share with folks about, in general, how this really helps them at the bottom line?
The interesting thing about our platform, again, I talked a little bit about the breadth of what our platform can do. Scene7 clients utilize our platform in different ways. We have companies using Scene7 to create online catalogs. So they upload their print pages of their print catalogs and instantly create an interactive version and put that on their website. Have you seen those where you can flip through the pages of a
Yes.
catalog? So our platform enables them to do that, in addition to adding dynamic content and zoom of alt views and seeing other color options dynamically. It also lets you do personalization, so do fully custom products, from monogramming and or engraving your name onto a product to picking the color, the texture options, the fabric options. You can actually do full custom product configuration using Scene7's technology as well. So the breadth of the functionality of Scene7 is really not comparable to anything you'll see out in the marketplace today, and they're all scalable, which is, again, the critical piece, because as you're doing updates, you want to be able to scale, take your textures, your products up and down depending on inventory availability. It also lets you do dynamic promotions and overlay graphics and important textual information onto imagery to actually make your messaging more impactful. If you've ever seen a print ad, you never see the text disassociate, the headlines disassociated with the imagery. And what the web had been limited in the past is that your text was always separate in white space, or it was always separate from the imagery. Well, with Scene7's technology, you can integrate your, if you will, your promotional offer, your textual information with the imagery better. And so you'll see case studies, and you can sort by use of our platform on our site. So again, you'll see different types of business results depending on the implementation of our platform on an e-commerce site.
And once again, that was Sheila Dahlgren of Scene7, who definitely we want to thank for taking the time to speak with us. Mitch Bettis, another great interview. And definitely make sure to check out our website at www.practicalecommerce.com to find related articles to this, definitely in our October 2006 issue, which features various tools to enhance the performance of your e-commerce website.